Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and I know there's some major changes. One, I'm closer to the camera than normal. It's because I have something up on my computer here that I might or might not need to read for this. And second, it's also, obviously, I'm not wearing a hat, and I have my fan on because it is getting to the point where it is now April where I am filming this, and this is actually the first video that I'm filming in April, so happy April. But anyways, it is now April that I'm filming this, and it is starting to get hot here, and I didn't leave my windows open while I was gone or anything, so my apartment was hot when I came home. But anyways, what am I doing? Well, I'm going to be talking about and kind of reviewing the movie Algorithm, the Hacker movie. Now, what is this movie about? Well, it's obviously a movie about hackers, hacking, whatever you want to call it. Now, there's a lot of things I'm going to leave generalized because I don't want to spoil the film, but I just want to talk, about my take on it and everything. So first off, of course, what is this movie about? It is about hackers. It's about the hacking lifestyle. It is about, a lot of things that have really been updated in the world and everything. This movie came out near the end of 2014, I believe, looking at the timestamp and everything on YouTube. And that's another thing, it is available on YouTube as well. But anyways, going back to it, essentially, it's just, it's like the new version of the movie Hackers. That was a movie that came out in 95, I want to say. That's what I've compared it to in a way, just because one thing that's really nice about it is they portray the hacker lifestyle, but they portray it accurately. That's one big thing I want to talk about with this. There's several other games, movies, you name it, or even like Hackers, for example. It was a good film. I like it. But one, since that was in 1995, it's a 20-year-old movie. It's outdated, and there were a lot of things, because it was in theaters and everything, they obviously added some fluff to the movie and all that to make it more enjoyable just to a general audience, which I completely understand from a filmmaker's perspective. However, with this, they really knew what their audience was going to be. They knew how they were going to be releasing it, all that stuff. It wasn't from a big corporation or anything like that. And then, as I said, when talking about games and everything, the first thing I'm thinking of as well is, of course, Watch Dogs, which I'm sure many other people are thinking of while I'm talking about this. Watch Dogs was definitely one of those games where people expected more from the hacking itself, as the entire basis and plot of the game centered around hacking. However, you don't really do that much of it, and it generalizes a lot of it. I mean, most of it is, you're running around with something covering your mouth like this, and you're just hacking things using your phone. That's really what most of Watch Dogs is, which is just completely inaccurate, compared to what is going on here. Essentially, it starts off with a hacker saying, a month ago he was a god, and now all this is happening, and he spends the entirety of the movie telling his story, which is about, a 90-minute film. It's 91 minutes, I believe. But, it goes through everything. It shows what he does. He explains a lot of things, such as botnets, anything like that. It shows him, hacking up a few different things and everything. Like, for example, at one point, he breaks into, this is at the beginning of the movie, he breaks into his cell towers area and does some stuff with the routers and everything. Of course, they don't show in major detail because they don't want people trying all this stuff. But essentially, he's able to do stuff that allows him to just get free service forever. So it shows him doing that. It shows, him going around, visiting these websites and all that. And, then, hanging out with all of his friends who they refer to each other as their nicknames and net handles and everything. But they're all in pockets here and there. Essentially, what ends up happening is he stumbles across a big program that is from a big security company that is known for, data mining, all that other stuff. Then the trouble kind of starts happening, and I'm not going to reveal too much about the plot after that, but I kind of want to talk about little sections of the movie, because this is what I've really liked about it. I mean, first off, this was 10 minutes in, so if you think, like, one thing is with this, I like stuff like this. Now, of course, I'm not a black hat hacker or anything, but, I am a big modder, obviously. You might have known, from previous videos I've done on the channel, or that's how you might have found me. And as any modder or even hacker or both knows, I mean, hacking is like right here, and modding is like the cousin of hacking. That's really what it is. So there's a lot of things that kind of cross over, just like, modding and piracy are just, they're not the same, but they are so close, and they hang out with each other a lot. That's what happens as well, too. So with me, this movie just appealed to me instantly. Like, I was looking into it, I started watching it, and I was hooked immediately. And even 10 minutes in, one of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite scene in the film, which this isn't, anything completely spoiling the plot, so I don't mind sharing this, but essentially the main character meets up with one of his friends and he starts talking about her, and he says there's two types of hackers. There are coders and there are makers. She is a maker. She's an electrical engineer. What she does in her spare time as well to make some money is she modifies game systems just, to get some extra money and everything, and she's able to circumvent the copyright protection on there, so she's able to make them region free and they can play games from around the world. And it's like, oh my God, this movie's appealing to me 10 minutes in already. Like, that's the stuff I loved about this movie. Aside from that, just like the little nods and quirks here and there, and I feel kind of weird saying that, but as I said, they talk about a lot of things like botnets, things like that. They mentioned the Tor network, although there were some things I thought they could have done a little bit better with elaborating on, because there's some things I'm like, okay, that needs to be changed a little bit here and there. But aside from that, I mean, they didn't make anything fake. The terminology, the background was there, and it's almost like this was a movie by hackers for hackers, except the person who created the film and, who thought of it and everything, I don't know if he's a hacker or not, if he was a former hacker or anything like that, but I know he has done several documentary type films and videos in the past where he has been in contact with, OG big hackers, older hackers, things like that. So he knows his stuff. He knew the audience he was appealing to, and that was one nice thing about it as well too. And a lot of people really compliment the movie because of the accuracy of everything in there. I mean, there's even one part, everybody knows, kind of just making fun of the CSI shows and everything. I've never seen them, but there's always a thing where they'll take, a really pixelated photo and they'll say enhance, enhance, enhance. And at one point in the movie, they're trying to do something like that. And one of the characters says to the other, can you enhance the image? And the other person says, I can try, but I can't add pixels that aren't there. I can't add a resolution that isn't there. I don't remember the exact wording, but it's something like that, and I just thought that part was great as well, too. There's just several individual parts in the movie and things that they dropped in there that just really made me smile just because they knew exactly what they were doing with this. Now, aside from the accuracy and the lifestyle things and all that, one thing I really want to talk about as well, too, is that this isn't a film that glorifies hackers by any means, but it's not a film that smears them at all. I think it is a very accurate portrayal of them, and it's, a thing that a lot of people do believe in that are hackers. They talk about, having free information. They talk about, security, especially with the NSA thing happening, recently with the NSA just getting bigger and bigger, and, they really show that side of everything as well, too. They show that they try to be free thinkers, and they believe in free information, and they don't think that every single thing we do should be tracked on a regular basis all the time, and tracking plays a big part in this movie as well, too. I'll tell you that. But what I'm trying to say here is they don't have it be this type of movie where, this guy is living an amazing lifestyle or anything like that. No, I mean, if you're a hacker, most of the time, your life is going to be in front of a screen. That's it, and that's really what they show. I mean, sure, he hangs out with his friends, he meets up with other people, things like that, but they still talk about hacking, all that other stuff. They don't label him as a hero by any means, but he's not an anti-hero at the same time, what like Aiden Pierce might be from Watch Dogs. They just have him as a hacker, and that's what it is. I mean, as I said, they don't have him, show, oh, he got away with everything or anything like that, because, I mean, there's people that suffer in this movie, and even the movie starts off with him in jail. It starts off with a jail scene and a torture scene, so, I don't know, kind of some graphic stuff, you might be warned, but it's not that bad. Anyways, wrapping this up, what I've really enjoyed about this film, of course, was the accuracy of everything. The movie was at least 90% accurate to the things. They used real terms. They talked about real networks. It seemed very realistic, and it is very realistic, and that's what I liked about it. They made very good points on it as well, too, and they showed both sides. They showed, the news stories that we see of hackers, and they showed the hacker lifestyle, life behind the hacker's eyes, which is what I really enjoyed as well, too. But they didn't go too Hollywood on it. They didn't try and glamorize it or anything, and they had to be kind of a neutral party. As I said, they don't have the hacker be a bad guy, but they don't have him be a good guy as well. And they don't make it sound like at all that, you just get through easy peasy through everything. No, I mean, as I said, there are several bad things that happen to this crew in the movie. Try not to spoil it too much, but there are several bad things that happen with the crew and everything. And as I said, the beginning of the movie, you're gonna see it if you watch the movie. It starts off with these people in jail. Like, that's how it is. They did pay hard time and even more for this. So, would I recommend this movie? I thought about it, and this movie is really a hard recommendation, because here's the thing. I personally recommend the movie, but I also know that there are going to be a lot of people that are not into this movie at all. They're going to find this boring. They're going to find it very dry. They're not going to find it interesting at all. And if you're one of those people, that's completely fine. But if this movie sounds interesting to you, look down below in the description. There's going to be a link to the movie on YouTube. It is directly from the creator himself. He released it for free on YouTube, so you could literally watch it on anything. You can watch it on your phone, tablet, game system, Chromecast, computer, whatever you want to. And it's completely available for free. The only thing is they placed ads on it, to make revenue and everything off it. But aside from that, it was a completely free release. I know if you also go to the website for this movie, there are also theater showings that you can see and everything. But that's one thing I like about it as well, too. They knew, as I said multiple times, they knew the audience that they were appealing to, and I'll be straight up, if they released this movie in theaters, even in a limited release, I'm sure most people who would be interested in it, most hackers that weren't, readily available to see it, would probably just pirate the movie anyway. So they said, you know what, we're just going to upload it. I'm not sure if it was Kickstarter or not, but they said, we'll just go ahead and upload it, and we'll put ads on it, and that's how we will make money off it. I'm not sure how much it's grossed in or anything like that, but even if you're not super interested in the movie, but it sounds kind of like your thing, I'll say this. Go ahead, check out that link. Watch the first 20 or 30 minutes of it, because by then you'll be able to judge if you want to see the rest of the movie or not. And if you want to see the rest of it, awesome. If you don't, okay. But honestly, I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it, and for the low price of free, you can't really beat anything. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you all enjoy the movie.